Chapter 2. Sri Sadguru said, one is not considered a highborn because of his birth. One becomes a Dvija due to the ritual of Upanayanam. One is considered a seer because of his deep immersion in meditation. One who expounds mantras becomes a rishi. He who has realized the Brahman with a clear perception of the idea of monism or lack of duality between the individual soul and the universal soul is a true Brahman. It is very rare to find such a man of profound wisdom who realizes that everything is the manifestation of Lord Sri Vasudeva himself. One is not considered a Brahmana just because of his birth in a particular clan or indulgence in religious or the performance of rituals like Upanayanam or his scholarship. One becomes a Brahmana due to the possession of Brahmajnana, the profound knowledge of universal soul. Despite one being a lowborn, certainly he becomes a Brahmana if he values all beings as manifestations of Sri Bhagavan. One, what use the sacred thread has for one who is rid of deception, born of differences nurtured in the heart, has meditated upon the Brahman as the only object of his life, stands above the regulations prescribed by the Vedas and the rules of conduct prevalent in the world. He is not benefited specially by the ritual of wearing a sacred thread. There was a great Brahmana, greatest among the exponents of the Vedas, named Vittaladasa, leading a happy married life with his wife Rukmini. Three Brahmajnanis were born as sons of this couple. They were named Nivritti Deva, Jnana Deva, and Sopana Deva. They had a daughter named Muktabai, who was adorned with all virtues, was very intelligent, and was a great devotee. The self-renounced Vittaladasa left behind his loving young children in the lip-sync stage and got relieved of his body drowning in the Ganga. Those parentless children, having inborn profound Brahmajnana and endowed with detached attitude, were roaming about here and there. They led a life begging for alms and living under the tree, all the time engaged in meditation upon Sri Govinda. In order to protect and abide by the rules of the society, they wanted to get the sacred thread ceremony performed. So, led by Jnanadeva, those children once reached an association of Brahmanas. Meeting the Brahmanas engaged in singing Samaveda, Jnanadeva, along with his brothers, submitted venerations to them and said as follows. Sri Jnanadeva said, O Brahmanas, venerations to you. You great men must please pay heed to my request. Though we were born in the Brahmana community, we are not yet blessed with the sacred thread. The ritual of Upanayanam is not yet performed. Parentless as we are, we take refuge in you. O exponents of the Vedas, please perform our Upanayanam and save and establish the Dharma of the Brahmana community. The Brahmanas said, you are parentless. How can we know your origin? Can we take faith in the words of you children? O children, you come again soon along with your other relatives. Coming to know of your background and the prestige of your clan, we will perform your Upanayanam. Sri Jnanadeva said, O Brahmanas, please have belief in my words and perform my Upanayanam as sage Gautama did for Jabali. The Brahmanas replied, O children, you are roaming about as orphans. We do not know your lineage. How can we perform Upanayanam for you, who is not known to be true Brahmanas? Sri Jnanadeva said, we have realized the Brahman and hence have become true Brahmanas. Yet we want to show to the world the truth. This is why we plead to you. Sri Bhagavan is omnipotent, omnipresent. He is in you all and in us too. You should have such a clear conception that there's no reason for discrimination of any kind. You should give up the idea of duality. The Brahmana said, if it is true that Lord Panduranga is present everywhere in the world, then why should there be differences of high and low? We do not perceive the absence of diversities in this world. If it is true that there are no differences among living beings, this buffalo should be able to recite the Samaveda, shouldn't he be? Sri Jnanadeva replied, only the low-witted men entertain such distinctions in the mundane life, but the spiritually advanced ones find only Sri Vasudeva in everything and everywhere. If it is true that Lord Panduranga is omnipresent, let this buffalo recite the Samaveda now. Sri Sadguru continued. Having spoken thus, Sri Jnanadeva touched the buffalo. The very moment he started singing the Samaveda melodiously, immediately all the Brahmanas residing at Pratishthanapuram bowed to Jnanadeva, the wise and the Brahmajnani. The Brahmanas said, you are born pious, you are blemishless, you are self-realized. Hence, you do not need to undergo ritual of Upanayanam. You are flawless as Sri Sukha. You are not bound by the rites explained by the Vedas and Shastras. Sri Jnanadeva said, those who do not have unfettered love for others and those who nurture enmities in their hearts preach the idea of shedding differences, considering themselves to be wise ascetics. Certainly, such a disposition of searching for differences among living beings will not die unless one acquires true knowledge of the Brahman. So, one attains salvation and redemption from ignorance only when he engages himself day and night in singing in praise of the merciful Lord Panduranga, speaking in praise of him and listening to his glories with great devotion. Lord Hari is rightly worshipped and propitiated by the Vaishnavas following the precepts of the Shastras. One who neglects them and acts on his own is considered spiritually lost. Sri Sadguru continued. Having stated so, Sri Jnanadeva took leave of the Brahmanas. He wandered, breathing free air, along with his brothers and sisters. Thus ends chapter 2, entitled Gnaneshwara Charitam of Book 8 of Shri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal.